An Invitation from Moonface and Silky, Chapter 17. No one had really enjoyed their visit to the Rocking Land, which had been a mistake anyhow. They sat in Moonface's house, untying their cushions from their backs and fronts, and looked at all the bruises they had got. "What shall we do with these cushions?" said Beth. "Moonface could do with them, I expect," said Franny. "He uses such a lot for his slippery slip, don't you, Moonface?" "Yes, they do very well," said Moonface, his big face beaming joyfully. "Some of mine are getting very old and worn. We can't possibly give them back to that cross old woman in Rocking Land, so we might as well put them to some use here." "Right," said Joe, and he handed Moonface his 2 cushions. Everyone else did the same. Moonface was pleased. He poured lemonade for everyone, then handed round a little box full of what looked like all sorts of toffee. "I don't feel as if I ever want to see what land is at the top of the faraway tree again," said Joe, as he munched a peculiar-looking piece of toffee, which seemed to get bigger in his mouth instead of smaller. "Neither do I," said Beth. "I certainly never will," said Franny. "It seems as if there are never any lands there worth visiting. They are all most uncomfortable." "Except my little land," said the Saucepan Man, rather mournfully. "I was always very comfortable there." Joe's toffee was now so big that he couldn't say a word. Then it suddenly exploded in his mouth, went to nothing, and left him feeling most astonished. "Oh dear, did you take a toffee shock?" said Moonface, noticing Joe's surprised face. "I'm so sorry, take another one. Take a different one." "No, thank you," said Joe, feeling that 1 toffee shock was quite enough. "I think we'd really better be going. It must be getting late." "What's going to happen to the old Saucepan Man now he's lost his land?" asked Beth, picking up a yellow cushion, ready to slide down the tree. "Oh, he'll live with Mr. What's-his-name," said Moonface. "Hello, he's taken a toffee shock by mistake. Oh, do watch him." They all watched. The Saucepan Man's toffee shock had got enormous and was about to explode. It did, and it went back down to nothing again in his mouth. The Saucepan Man blinked his eyes and looked so astonished that everyone shouted with laughter. "That was a toffee shock you were eating," said Moonface. "A coffee clock?" said the Saucepan Man, even more surprised. "Dear me." "Come on," said Beth, giggling. "It's time we went. See you another day, Moonface. Goodbye, Saucepan Man." She shot off down the slide, round and round, and out of the trapdoor at the bottom. Then Franny slid off, and then Joe. "Goodbye," he called. "Goodbye." Mother was astonished to see their bruises. "Whatever have you been doing?" she said. "I shan't let you play with the Saucepan Man again if you come home like this. And how dirty your clothes are." Joe longed to tell Mother about the Rocking Land and their adventure there, but he felt sure she would think he was making it all up. So he said nothing and went off to change his dirty clothes. Things did not go very well the next week. Father lost some money one night, and Mother could not get very much washing to do, so money was very scarce, and the children did not have as much to eat as they would have liked. "If only we could have a few hens," sighed Mother. "They would at least give us eggs to eat, and a little goat would give us milk." "And what I want is a new garden shovel," said Father. "Mine broke yesterday, and I can't get on with the garden. It's very important that we should grow as many vegetables as possible, for we can't afford to buy them." To make things worse, their father was very cross with them for having spoilt their clothes the day that they'd gone off with the Saucepan Man. "If that's the way you treat the only nice clothes you have, you will just have to stay at home and not go out at all," he scolded. The children did not like being scolded, and Beth mended their clothes as nicely as she could. 2 days went by, and the children had not even had 2 hours to themselves to go and see Moonface. "He'll be wondering what's happened to us," said Franny. Moonface certainly was wondering. He waited each day and night to see the children, and he and Silky wondered what was the matter. "We'll send a barn owl with a note to tell the children to come quickly," said Silky at last. So she slipped down the faraway tree to the hole where the barn owl lived. She knocked at his door, and he pecked it open. "What is it?" he asked in a hoarse voice. Oh, Barney dear, will you take this note to the children in their little cottage over by the wood? Asked Silky in her sweetest voice. You're going out hunting tonight, aren't you? Yes, said the barn owl, and he took the note in one of his great clawed feet. I'll take it. He slammed the door shut behind him and rose into the air on great creamy wings, as silent as the wind. He flew to the children's cottage. They were in bed, asleep. Barney sat on the tree outside and screeched loudly. The children awoke with a jump. Whatever's that? Said Beth. Joe came into the room. Did you hear that? He asked. Whatever could it be? The barn owl screeched again. He certainly had a dreadful voice. The children jumped. Joe went bravely to the window and called out. Is anyone being hurt? He called. Me! Screeched the owl again, and Joe nearly fell out of the window with fright. The barn owl spread his great soft wings and flew to Joe. He dropped the note on the windowsill, screeched again, and flew off into the night to look for mice and rats. It was a barn owl, said Joe. It left a note. Quick, turn on your bedside lamp and let's see what the letter says. They turned the lamp on and crowded round the note. This is what it said. Dear Joe, Beth and Franny, why don't you come to see us? Are you upset? Please come soon, because there is a wonderful land at the top of the tree now. It's the land of take what you want. If you want anything, you can usually get it there for nothing. Do come, and we'll all go up together. Love from Moonface and Silky. Oh, said Franny, excited. The land of take what you want. Well, I'd like to get a few hens. And I'd like a goat, said Beth. And I'd like a shovel for father, said Joe. But then he frowned. I'd quite made up my mind not to go up to any more of those strange lands, he said. You just never know what might happen there. We'd better not go. Oh, Joe, cried Beth, please let us go. After all, if there is a nice land, we might as well visit it. Shh, you'll wake up Mother, said Joe. We'll see tomorrow what happens. If we can get some time to ourselves, we'll go and ask Moonface if the land is really safe to go to. Now we'd better go to bed and sleep. But they didn't sleep much. No, they were all wondering what the land of Take What You Want was like, and if they really were going to visit it tomorrow. I wonder what you'd like from the land of Take What You Want. I wonder if you can message me on Seesaw to let me know what you'd choose if you could find anything you wanted. It has to be something you can carry. See you again tomorrow.